All up in nature because we've been feeling the wrath of winter weather.
Yeah, snow and cold, -10 in Taos Ski Valley right now. So more on that coming up. We've also, of course, dealt with the snow, not only a little bit in the northern mountains, but as well as for many areas south of I-40. 6:13 right now on this Friday morning. A cold start, a drier start from the snow that we've seen since earlier in the week. Places like the north central parts of Chaves County, 8 inches of snow. Melrose, a half a foot, 5.5 inches in Clovis. We had about 5 inches in Alto, 4.5 to 6 inches around the Roswell area. Socorro, just to the south of Berlin, which had a dusting, 1 to 2 inches of snow. No measurable snow in Albuquerque, but impressive totals, again, for some areas south of I-40. Our storm system now well off to our east, leaving Texas, plenty of snow. Now moving through Memphis, the Ohio River Valley, in places like Illinois, and thunderstorms to the south. And we're dealing with clearing skies here in New Mexico. Flurries in the Oregon Mountains, drifting to the south in New Mexico. And we're dealing with leftover clouds in the Mimbres Valley, but generally mostly clear skies elsewhere. And some patchy freezing fog. More on that just a bit. Here's a live look at Taos Ski Valley. Still dark out there. We can see the Highline Ridge. In the cold air, -10 right now, with the wind at 7 miles per hour, making it feel closer to -20. So bundle up out there if you're in the Enchanted Circle. Lighter winds compared to what we have been seeing, but lower air temperatures, 74% humidity. We can see that clearing skies above kind of a very cold winter scene there right now. With the clearing skies, the lighter winds and drier air, that is allowing for radiational cooling. And despite the lower air temperatures, not as bad in terms of the wind chill values. No cold weather alerts here in New Mexico, but in the upper Gila River Valley of Arizona, we're dealing with that pretty low wind chill values out there. Now seasonally cold wind chills in the Enchanted Circle. That's why there aren't any weather alerts there. But we're dealing with freezing fog around Las Cruces. I-10 looking very misty out there with below freezing temperatures, but Vaughn to Raton and higher above Las Cruces in the Oregon Mountains, better conditions. You can see some of those low-level clouds and freezing mist along the interstates there around and roads around Las Cruces, causing some slippery travel, especially along the bridges and overpasses and the cold grassy surfaces as well along the sidewalks. So be careful out there. Here in the Albuquerque metro, cold air, 4 degrees right now. The air temperature in Moriarty, 6 in Edgewood, 13 at Sandia Park, 19 at the Sunport, 18 earlier, tying the lowest temperature so far this season for the second time, reaching the teens. 24 in the west side, 12 in the South Valley, and in places like Los Lunas, 14 degrees. So most areas in the metro in the teens, a couple areas in the lower 20s in the west side, and in the single digits on the other side of the Sandia. So we can see the mid to upper level clouds right over the metro and some low hanging clouds obstructing our view of the Sandias just a little bit. You can see some of the steam coming up from the buildings, indicative of the cold and humid air at the surface. Above the humid surface, we got drier, allowing for colder air on the backside of the storm system. A very light breeze right now, 19, feeling a little bit colder from time to time with slightly stronger, occasionally 85% relative humidity, some patchy freezing mist, where some of those clouds are in the northeast highlands and the foothills of the Sandias and the Manzano Mountains. -3 in Alamosa, the air temperature, 3 in Taos, 1 in Gallup. Again, by the way, -10 in the Taos Ski Valley, 17 in Santa Fe, 19 in Albuquerque, as I mentioned, 17 Tucumcari, 16 Ruidoso and Clovis. Below freezing temperatures in the 20s in southeast New Mexico. Las Cruces cold at 19 degrees, 20 in Socorro, 16 right now in Silver City. And with the wind occasionally gusting around 32 miles per hour or more in Hobbs, the sustained wind at 18 miles per hour, making the low to mid 20s feel like the single digits occasionally in teens. And yeah, feeling like below zero, or we are below zero in the northern tier, and feeling a little bit colder in Albuquerque. But again, wind chill values not as bad as compared to what we have been seeing. And then drying off and warming up with sunshine this afternoon at 40, freezing mist earlier in the day today. And we are going to be seeing those temperatures rising a little bit more than yesterday. Marginal enough temperatures for some snow melt to the south. Near freezing temperatures, if not below freezing temperatures to the north, and Ruidoso in the upper 20s. A slightly warmer, a drier day, but under the clearing skies, light winds and dry air, pretty low overnight lows tomorrow morning. The single digits and single digits below zero in the northern tier, single digits and teens to the north into the west and to the south, mid-teens and 20s. And we are going to be seeing clearing skies, but some wispy clouds approaching the Four Corners with light snow near Durango, Farmington, moving through the northeastern highlands as we head through later tomorrow with marginal enough temperatures. Some chilly rain showers mixing with kind of wetter snow activity. A little bit of a ridge of high pressure before that dip in the jet stream tomorrow, allowing for a brief warm-up with breezier, downsloping westerly winds, patchy blowing dust and blowing snow, 40s and 50s to the southeast, and to the northwest, 30s and 40s, upper 20s in the high peaks. Durango, low overnight lows, brief and cooler Sunday, but warming up after that. Alamosa, you guys are included on that. In Grants and Cuba, temperatures mostly on the rise ahead, eventually reaching the 30s, 40s, and 50s ahead. From Camaro to Las Cruces, Alamogordo, and the Mimbres Valley areas, patchy freezing mist this morning, but drying out and warming up mostly ahead by next Thursday in the 60s near Las Cruces, Alamogordo, and Carrizozo, Fort Sumner, Roswell, and Hobbs. Breezier westerly winds developing later today and tomorrow, and with that brief cool down on Sunday in the northeast highlands and places like Las Vegas and more, I may deal with a little snow, including Raton, but nothing like we've been seeing and not as cold as what we have been seeing, but really warming up by next week. Red River, Espanola, and Santa Fe in the 20s, 30s, and low 40s for high temperatures in the short term. Still pretty low overnight lows. Moriarty, Tejeda, Cedar Crest. Again, briefly cooler after a warmer Saturday for Sunday, then warming up after that, and similar in the Albuquerque metro from the north to south valley. We are going to be seeing temperatures getting closer to, if not above normal by next week, but still pretty low overnight lows, David.
Yep, that's like limbo. How low can you go? Well,
Exactly.
Let's find out.
Temperature roller coaster. Gotta love it.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan.